Federal Reserve had to inject another $63.5 billion into the U.S. banking system this morning. Record debt now in the United States of America, $22.6 trillion. Record global debt now exceeding $250 trillion. General Motors on strike, 48,000 people not working. Trade war with China escalating. We're witnessing a global slowdown. Wealth inequality, the gap continues to widen. Pension crisis here in America, and now the talk of impeachment. Somebody please explain to me how the Dow Jones was up today 96 points. It's Monday, September 30th, 2019. It's a beautiful, hot, sunny day here in Palm Desert, California. I had a break in my day, so I wanted to make a video. A lot to talk about. Let's talk about what is happening right now. First off, $63.5 billion injected yet again into the U.S. banking system. Where is all this liquidity going? How many foreign banks are getting this bailout also? And where has the liquidity gone? There's so much happening, yet the dumbed down average American continues to just stay comatose. You know, it's amazing with everything happening globally. We're watching countries across the globe going into recession. We're watching currencies across the globe collapsing. We're watching and listening to the talk of war around the globe. Things are heating up while the average dumbed down American who's watching football, drinking beer, playing video games, watching cartoons, smoking enormous amounts of dope, believe that nothing bad can happen to America, that the U.S. economic system is sound, that it's immune from any ramifications across the globe. What people don't understand is the global economy. The global economies are connected. The global banking system is all connected. We are connected with the globe. If a Deutsche Bank blows up tonight, your life tomorrow changes immediately. The average American who just believes that nothing can happen, they live their life with this entitlement, believing they're immune from what happens to the rest of the world. They believe that the entire world can implode economically, yet America will continue and be left standing. A country like the US, which manufactures nothing except consumption and debt, yet the average dumbed down American believes that a country like ours that makes absolutely nothing, that prints dollars out of thin air, injects hundreds of billions of dollars into its banks, believes nothing can happen. A country that makes nothing but consumption and debt, that nothing can happen here. That's how dumbed down we have become as a nation, and it's very, very dangerous. Retail apocalypse, zero hedge today. Forever 21 files for bankruptcy, 30,000 jobs now at risk. How's that for economic news? Yet Dow Jones up today. Chicago PMI, let's talk about that. It re-slumped, went into contraction. It slumped back down to 47.1 from 50. Chicago PMI has slumped into contraction the third month in the last 4. New orders fell, employment fell at a slower pace, inventories fell at a faster pace, production fell at a faster pace. This is all contraction. Let's talk about consumer defaults. They rise to the highest level in 2019. Americans are nearing the point of maximum leverage, the signs that the good times are coming to an end. And you must be watching the signs. You must be watching these indicators. Default rates of the consumer in 4 key loan categories: auto, bank card, first mortgage liens, and second mortgage liens. Consumer debt defaults rose 7 basis points to 0.92% in August, the highest of the year. The auto loan default rate moved higher by 9 basis points to 0.98%. Remember, over 7 million people are 90 days plus delinquent on their auto payments here in the US. First mortgage default rates increased 7 basis points to 0.69%. We keep being brainwashed that the housing market is literally almost booming again. When we're starting to see subprime loans come back in, they're pushing mortgage rates down to sucker people into this bubble, getting as many people into this housing bubble as they can. We are sitting in a bubble as big, if not bigger than the one that blew up in 2008, and they're still trying to sucker people into it. Wall Street Journal this morning, there are companies out now that are competing against credit cards. They work on kind of a layaway type basis. There's companies like Affirm, Afterpay, and PayPal. And what you can do is, unlike a credit card, you pay a small percentage or a fee, and you have a number of payments for that product. So if it costs, and this is the interesting thing, these are not high dollar items or higher dollar ticket items. They're $50, $75, $100, $20 that people are putting on layaway cards, okay? So if you buy an item for $100, you get 4 payments, say of $25 each, and they may charge you $3, $4, or $5 to use the service. So you can buy that item, $100, make 4 payments, make 8 payments, you pay a charge of $3 or $4 or $5, and every month you know exactly what your payment is, unlike with a credit card, where if you don't pay it at the end of the month, it rolls over and you're paying interest every month, and the price or the balance changes on a monthly basis. Here, you know what your next 4 payments or 8 payments will be. And so we are now living in a society where people now need to put small ticket items like makeup, like shoes, $20 items, $10 items, $50 items on layaway as an option to using their credit card. This is our society today, that people don't have the money right now. They don't have the disposable income right now that they have to put, $20 of makeup, a pair of $50 shoes on a layaway card and have their installment payments. This is where we're living right now. We have a couple different companies, as I said, Affirm, Afterpay, and PayPal. Affirm said that their sale loans doubled to about $2 billion last year and are expected to double again this year. It's telling you that the average consumer doesn't even have $20, $30, or $100 to spend, and that they're opting out of using their credit card because they're tapped out of that, and they're going to these layaway cards as an option. It's just mind-blowing. More than half the merchants surveyed this year said that they either offer installment options or plan to adopt them next year. Remember, people used to put stuff on layaway, but it was like, expensive televisions, expensive appliances. Now it's $20, $30, $50 items. Just telling you, Wall Street Journal, check it out. It's just telling you how tapped out the American consumer is. They have to finance everything. Seattle Times. Macys will close in February 2020. The company confirmed on Saturday. This company, Macys in Seattle, had been around for 90 years. The 161-foot Macys star that they put up for Christmas will not be lit this year over the holidays. The star is in need of repair. They're too broke to fix it. Another one about to bite the dust. Macys has been in downtown Seattle for 90 years. Last week, a drugstore chain in Seattle, Bartell's, announced it was closing their 3rd Avenue and Union Street location early next year because of the neighborhood's crime rate and homelessness epidemic. People are complaining about shopping in downtown Seattle because of the homeless epidemic and the soaring crime rate. Think, just a beautiful city like Seattle, it's just being decimated. Really sad to see. It's a sign of the times. It's what's happening to your country right now. Another one, zero hedge debt bombs. Here are the states with the most debt. This is really absolutely nuts. When we look, I made a couple notes here. This is what the taxpayer is in the hole for in each of these states. This is how much debt these states have. If you live in one of these states, this is you, the taxpayer. This is how much you would have to pay. Every taxpayer in that state would have to pay to make the debt whole. In New Jersey, the taxpayer would have to pay $65,100. Illinois, you'd have to pay $52,600. Connecticut, $51,800. Massachusetts, taxpayer would have to pay $31,200. each taxpayer in order to make the debt whole. Hawaii, you'd have to pay $31,200. Delaware, $27,100. Kentucky, $25,700. California, right where I sit here today, $21,800. Every one of us as a taxpayer here in California would have to pay in order to get California out of its debt. Illinois, the state of Illinois, my hometown, Chicago, has only $28.9 billion of assets to pay its bills. It has $223.9 billion of debt. Again, mathematically, this debt is impossible to pay nationally and in many of our states here today. When the recession hits full bore here in America, the most indebted states, which is a lot, these states are going to collapse. And we are going to see major social fallout. Be prepared. This is another reason why you must be preparing. Not only is your country broke, many of your cities and towns are broke, your states are broke, the whole system is broke. Be your own central bank, be betting against the debt, be acquiring hard assets, gold and silver, which got beat up today by the dip. And one thing I can promise every one of you is they will never be worth zero. So they're on sale yet again today. If I have the opportunity in the next week, I will be making another purchase myself. Good friend of mine today made a very large purchase in silver and said it was a great buying opportunity. And I have to agree, as long as they keep the illusion up and while they keep beating the price of metals up, you know, the banks like JP Morgan, they're backing the truck up as they're manipulating the prices, as they're flooding the market with paper gold, paper silver. They flood the markets with paper, and the banks are backing the trucks up and buying the real deal. They're buying the hard physical gold and silver, while the average American is playing video games and drinking beer and watching football, not a care in the world. But people who are savvy, people who are awake, people who know what's going on, the globalists, the bankers, the wealthy, they're backing up the trucks and they're buying assets right now, while many people continue to rely on their pensions, rely on their 401ks, rely on their stocks. They're relying on paper, and I guarantee you, one day, your paper is going to be worthless. People want to continue to blame retail on e-commerce, Amazon, and the internet. But when I read an article like this, container shipping rates collapse over 40%, forcing carriers to slash capacity. That tells me that people are buying less. That tells me that we're witnessing a global slowdown, that people, whether they're buying it on the internet or they're buying it at a retailer, they're buying less. People have less disposable income. People have less credit to work with. They're getting tapped out. Now they're going to layaway cards. This is where we're going. The consumer is getting tapped out. Shipping rates are collapsing. Don't blame the internet. Don't blame e-commerce. Don't blame Amazon for every retailer going out of business. We better start blaming the economy. We better start blaming the debt that a lot of these retailers took on, the debt that a lot of the consumers took on who no longer can shop at those retailers. This is why shipping containers rates are collapsing. This is why the carriers are shipping less. This is why the truckers are transporting less. This is why we're seeing less across the board, whether it's barge, whether it's trucking, whether it's railroad, whether it's planes. Shipping across the board is down because the consumer is down, and it's going to get worse. Remember, these are the best times we've ever seen. Wait till you see the bad times. Start picturing with your head what we are going to see. CNBC, 29% of Americans are considered lower class. This is on CNBC. Check it out, do your due diligence. 29% of households here in America, the household income is $25,624. That's almost 30% of US households in America making under $26,000. That's households, not individuals. That says households. How in the world are we going to continue as an economy? How do we continue as a country? How do we keep this real estate bubble afloat when 30% of the households in America make under $26,000? How do these people keep up with rent? How do they keep up with medical? How do they keep up with car insurance, electricity bills, gas bills? How do these people buy a car? How do they repair a flat tire when a household makes under $26,000 a year? How do these people eat? This is where we are at as America, but we're being sold this agenda on TV every day that everything is great, that the average American consumer is doing incredibly well, that they're incredibly happy, that they're out spending like there's no tomorrow. Listen, people are going to be starting Christmas shopping very soon. Those same people will be the people who haven't even paid off their credit cards from last Christmas. Do not be one of these people. These people are nuts. Do not be, let me repeat, do not be one of these people. If you have not paid off your credit cards from last Christmas, you have no business shopping this Christmas. You need to get yourself under control, get your economics under control now. Listen, we are heading into very, very serious times here, uncharted water here in America, and it's going to be very, very painful for the masses. Tens and tens of millions of people are going to take a major economic hit. They're going to lose their jobs, they're going to lose their houses, they're going to lose their cars, they're going to lose their pensions, they're going to lose everything they worked for, everything they thought that they would have down the road will be gone. They're going to get those money markets. They're going to get those pensions. They're going to get those 401ks, and they're going to look, and there's going to be a lot of zeros missing. And for a lot of them, a lot of that paper may not even exist because it's going to be obliterated. You need to be your own central bank. You need to be betting against the debt right now. You need to be holding hard assets. You need to be holding cash, and you need to be very conservative right now. Stop being the idiot that has to go out there to buy a watch to impress people, or a car, or to go rent that condo, with the great view with 2 extra bedrooms that person's never going to use. You don't need 40 pairs of shoes. Really think about the next 18 to 24 months and where we are going to be as a country. Keep your powder dry. The deals are coming. The sales are coming. There's going to be mass sales when we get a revaluation of these overvalued assets that are sitting on massive bubbles right now. You're going to buy a lot more for your money, I believe, in the next, I'm not even going to predict, but I think it is much closer than farther away. But how this thing could go another 18 or 24 months without imploding, because it won't be up to us. It's going to be up to another bank. It's going to be up to another country, somebody else, a black swan event. Somebody's going to implode, and it's going to set everything off. And then there's going to be hand grenades all over the ground, and we're going to be stepping all over them. And bubbles are going to be bursting and exploding everywhere. Countries everywhere, economies everywhere, currencies everywhere. This thing could get very, very serious. And if you're loaded with a bunch of debt, a bunch of car payments and mortgages and rent payments and credit card payments, layaway payments, you're going to be in trouble. Many of you think that there's going to be debt forgiveness. There was no debt forgiveness in 2008. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I just want to close with a few things. Right now is the time to really value wealth building. This is the time to really think about your future, get the debts paid down, put assets away, put cash away, really be conservative. Be very, very cautious with your spending. Set goals. Every week, put some money aside. Every week, maybe if you can buy a silver coin, or every month, buy a silver coin or buy a gold coin, or, put a couple $100 away or a couple $1,000 away, whatever you can do. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing, or if this guy's putting $10,000 a month away. If you can put $100 away a month, then you put $100 away a month. Make sure you get all your preps topped off. Number one, make sure your security is taken care of. It's time for us to get our priorities in order. We have to stop worrying about what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is thinking. Right now, it is about you. It is about me and us getting our priorities in order for what is coming. Very dangerous, uncertain times economically are coming to America, and that will spill over socially. Sometimes it takes sacrifice and pain. No one is going to do this for you. So, if you've got to cut out the lattes, the mochas, if you got to cut out going out to dinner every weekend, if you got to cut out a vacation, this is the time to do it. There'll be plenty of time for mochas, plenty of time for vacations. Right now, make the sacrifice. The worst that could happen is a year from now, you have a lot more money. The time of making excuses is over. It is time to prepare. It is time to walk the walk right now. And one more thing before I go, I want to talk about ego. This narcissistic environment we live in, this environment where people believe that they're reality TV stars, people believe in this entitlement, that they're just entitled to things, and people live that entitlement. They want it now, they want it today, they don't care how they're gonna get it, they gotta use the credit card, the layaway plan, whatever they gotta do, sell their soul to the devil, whatever they gotta do, they're gonna do it because they want it today. They want fame today, they want fortune today, they want the car today, they want it all today, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it. Listen, be patient and make the right choices and never sell your soul. Somebody may have more than you, but sometimes you got to ask, how did they get more than you? What did they have to do for it? Make sure you're walking close to God. And ego. These people with ego today, the people with the egos, a lot of these people can watch this video and people with ego will be like, that's never, this is fear. This is propaganda. This will never happen. It could never happen. Too big to fail. It's the United States of America. Everybody has this ego, right? The masses have this ego. There's no fear of God, right? Because people now are their own gods. They have this massive ego. And I've noticed that people with these big egos are typically the most scared type of people. They're the most fearful people. And they're the most insecure people. And many people that watch this video are not scared or insecure because you are the prepared. You are the sheepdog. You are preparing right now for what is coming because your spirit and your heart, what is coming. And I'm here, repeating a lot of the same message on a daily basis because people need reinforcement. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing. The news changes every day, and it's interesting to talk about daily what is happening economically, socially, and we need to talk about that. There's big changes. But daily, the message is the same, and I'm here to reinforce that with you. We're going to continue to prepare. We're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to support this president and support this country. And we're going to continue to wake up as many people as possible. We need to get our egos out of the way. Too many times, even people in this group, we judge too many people trying to do the same thing. If somebody is doing something, we criticize it and go, no, you shouldn't do that. We got to stop tearing one another down and come together because we're all trying to accomplish the same thing. We all love America. We support this country. We're walking the walk. And instead of tearing one another down and criticizing one another, we got to come together because America needs every one of us right now to come together. There's too much division in this country, and we are going to have bigger trouble by dividing than coming together. We are much stronger as a people, as a country, if we come together. So let's stop judging one another and tearing one another down. We all have the same plan here. We love this country. We love freedom. We love our rights. So this is what we got to continue doing. So let's get the ego out of the way. You cannot be connected to God if you have a big ego. So listen, keep saying your prayers, keep supporting this president, support this country, and I will talk to every one of you very, very soon. God bless.